All right, so good evening and welcome to Bars Design Services. All right, so we are live. So you're joining us for this particular live stream. So we started a 5 day training. So now today is the third day of the training, whereby you're going to be learning how to use Archicad from basics to advanced. Right. So if you're joining us, right, so you can actually access the previous videos we did. Right, you can check out the playlist on this channel, Architect's Guide. Right. So we are going to start now, or we continue from where we stopped yesterday. Right, so welcome, and then please feel free to subscribe to this channel if you're joining us for the first time. Right, so now I'm going to share my screen for what we're going to talk about today. So by the end of this video, right, so you're going to learn three basic things. Right, so now number one, grids and levels. Right, grids and levels, so story settings, floor levels, grid two, importance of grids in professional drawings, that's in working drawings rather. Right, so now number two, we're going to learn residential floor plan modeling. Right, so now space planning basics, room sizes, internal partitions, toilet, bedroom, living area layout. And then number three, you're going to learn sections and elevations, right? Section and elevation, how to do your elevations, how to do your sections, and how to edit your sections and elevation, because you can still edit them right before you now proceed to printing or documenting it for presentation. Okay, and then we have an assignment, the third assignment for this particular training. That's to design or draw two-bedroom residential floor plan. Right, so that's the task. So we're going to submit it on um, exported PDF, on PDFs rather. Right, so now let's dive right in. Let's dive into Archicad, and then we continue from there. Okay. Let me share my screen. Let me share something else. All right. So we have here. Now this is what we started with yesterday. We started with this plan, so we were able to do this 3D. Right, so let's go back to the floor plan rather. Right, so now this is the floor plan for what we did yesterday. This is the roof plan, sorry. But then let me go down to, remember we talked about navigator. Click on navigator, and then here we have, go back to ground floor plan, double click on the floor plan, and you see what we have done so far. Right, so we're able to do a self-contained, right? So from the entrance porch down to the living room, down to the toilet, the lobby, at least within the kitchen and the toilet. So it's the self-contained, right? So you can see here these. So now this is what it looks like. So you can actually still edit these colors for the wall. And edit the colors of this text too. Let's edit the text too to see. Can edit the color of these windows, the colors of the doors. You can edit them to suit your presentation mode, right? So whatever presentation mode you want to use, you can actually do that, and then to suit your design. So let me expand this toolbar. I really like to expand mine. You can leave yours the way it was, but then I like expanding it. All right, so let's go down to, let me add objects. Right now, it's very easy for us to add our furniture. For someone that does interior design, and we want to add furnitures, right? You want to see where the best possible place for you to do your furnitures or place the furnitures, right? So now, if you look at the model we have today, right, we have a section for space planning, right? So now, what is space planning, right? So space planning is the act, right? Is the act of arranging a space. Right? It can be a living room, a bedroom, a kitchen, a dining, or whatever you have it. Right. So now, for an interior designer, space planning has to do with arrangement of a particular space to suit comfort, to suit circulation, to suit functionality in a particular space. But for an architect, right, what you're looking out for is a space planning is you are trying to now connect different rooms together, rearrange the rooms together, what to make room A connects to room B. What to make the living room connect to the dining, from dining to kitchen. How do these rooms interact? That's what space planning will mean to an architect, right? Even a little bit more. But then for an interior designer, you're looking out for to arrange the furnitures in the space, arrange the accessories, the color palette, the elements and all that in the space, in a particular space, not just entirely the one bedroom or whatever it is, but then you are doing it for every space you have, right? So now let's go down and place some furniture here. So for you to get access Archicad furniture, right, what you do is go down to objects, click on objects, or you double click on objects with your mouse, and then here we have it. We have the tools, right? We have objects, right? So down on this particular menu we have different objects, right? You have appliances. You can, while you go back, you can actually check it again, or you go through it again to see the best, or to access or understand which is where is which, and all that. Okay, so we have these are chairs. We have cabinets and shelves. You can scroll down to see other options of the cabinet. We have beds, different beds. We have uh, couches, right? We have different types of couches, sectional sofas, single sofas, and different designs, right? We have window, right? And then we have under visualization, you can click on this pull down menu. You see site improvements for site, everything about site. Right. So let's click on this pull down menu to see garden. So you see trees. Right. If you want to do an exterior model, you can see trees there. See park and street items like mailboxes, waste bin, and all that. And then you have spots for different sport activities you want to depict on your site plan for architects and engineers, right? So we'll go down to the next pull down, people and vehicles, right? So now on this pull down, you can actually see people, right? People, someone driving bicycle, different options, sitting down, walking, wheelchair, and all that. And then the next one, people contour, like you just want to have a black and white, or just a black. And you have vehicles, right? So we have vehicles, truck, luxury cars, yachts, boats, whatever the case may be you want to use, right? So just check in this particular toolbar. So now we want to make use of beds, right? We need beds, right? So let's go down to beds, and then depending on the design I'm looking for, I want to make use of, right? So I will choose my design. Let me say I'm making use of this one. Okay, bed double, right? Let's use double and see the size. Okay, what we have here is 2.1 by 1.8, 2.1 meter by 1.8. All right, so and then it starts from the zero ground level. And so let's click on OK, and then once you click on OK, right, you can click inside of this point to drop it, and then you can highlight it by holding Shift. Click on the bed, drag it, click on the black dot at the middle, drag it, and then drop it at the positioning. You can click on Ctrl D to actually drag this particular side, and you set at the edge. And if you want it to be at the edge, if you want it to be at the center, whatever case, or depending on how you want to make it work. But for this particular space is very big, so I can actually, let me rotate it, Ctrl E to rotate, and then you click at the center point for rotate, and then you rotate it anti-clockwise, because that's what I want to position it. So I can actually drag and then drop it at this window axis, right? So I want some space. I want some space here where I can actually have my side table, and then this place for my for a sofa, for a small sofa, a single sofa where I can sit down, where the clients can sit down. So right, so it's a project. Having doing it as a project in mind. So let's go back to the objects toolbar. So and then we can actually grab this one is a baby crib, right? So we can actually, let's grab some side tables. Let's go back to side tables. Nightstand. Okay, we have nightstand. We have sorry. Let's see nightstand. Let's make use of this one. Wooden. Zero. Okay. Right. So let's click on OK. Look at this 3D. It is not according. It's not a nice design, right? But just let's make use of this for the purpose of this class, right? So we drag it down to the position where we want to place it, and then we rotate it. Zoom in by rolling your mouse roller, and then you rotate it to suit a particular position, right? So I'm giving space between this and the wall, right? So I'll be having here some extra space, right? So I can actually use this measure here, This to measure to naturally measure the distance between the bed and the wall. So I have 900, which is okay because the 600 is for shoulder to shoulder. So 900 is okay for space movement, right? And then I can drag this side table to the other side of it, and I drop it there. Okay. So I have my nightstand, my side tables there. So let's place, let's say sectional sofa. No, no, a single sofa. I double can enter there. Let's see double couches and sofas. Double, double, double. Okay, let me make of this designer double. All right, so let's use this. Okay. So remember, we can change the colors of these materials, right? That we're making use of. So I can pull it this way. I want to back my window and then face my bed. Okay, so drag it up to the window axis, or let me give a little bit space between. Let's say 300, 300. All right, so we have this placed here, and then we can add a side table. Add a table. Okay, so now on this lobby, I want to place a wardrobe here instead of placing the wardrobe inside my living room because there's space at this lobby for me to do that. All right, so I'll go back and I place my. So we are planning the space now, cabinets and shelves. So I'll place my wardrobe. All right, so okay, now place it here. All right, so this is for my. Control E, rotate, Control D to drag, to D to drag, and I drag and drop at the edge, and I can extend it down to this other point. Okay, so now I have my wardrobe placed at this point. All right, so let me reduce the size of these fonts a little bit. It's a little bit big. Let me take it down to 1.5 to be smaller, or let's use 1.5, and then click enter. All right, so this is better because I can actually make use of my drawing. No, I deleted it. Control Z. And Control Z. Okay, let me do it again. 1.5, and then click enter. Let me drag it a little bit downwards and centralize all of them at the same time. Okay, so we have this here. All right, so now let's place. What else can we place here? What else can we place? Well, we won't touch the toilet for now. We won't touch the kitchen for now. Right, so we'll do that for other times. Right, so let's go to the 3D to see what happens. Right, so now we can't see inside of the room. Right, so but then what happens? We can actually click on O, click on O once. Right, click on O once, and then you can actually now zoom in and pan, zoom in and pan. Let's go to this window where we have the bedroom. Zoom in and then into the particular space. Let's pan it round. Then zoom in again so we can see what is happening in here. Right, so you can hold shift to drag this way. All right, so behind the wall. All right, so this is what we have here. So this is what is happening inside the space. Right, this is inside my space. I can still drag a little bit to see go down to see how this looks. Right, so now if I'm going to do an interior design, right, so now I can continue from here to do this, to design this interior, this living room, sorry, the bedroom rather. And you can design this bedroom and then begin to add some other elements, interior design elements, wall wall art, right? So you can actually add the wall art from this object too, right? You can search it out and see from that object. You can add sculpture, you can add other smaller elements that makes this space looks like a bedroom, all right? So because now since it's a self-con, we're having a making use of this space for a living room and the bedroom also. That's why the couch is here. All right, so let's go back and then we can continue with other things we will talk about today. So now we're going to talk about grid, so adding grids. So adding grids, and then next thing we talk about the story settings, right? So before I will go down to the roof roof members and all that. That's now grid. So let's go down to, let's click on the toolbar and I remove, I take off this pull down for the design and I click on document. Under document, there's what is called level dimension tool, right? So remember level dimension tool. So if I click on this level dimension tool, what happens is I'm going to be creating a level, right? So it's like you trying to so now what this tool does is I'm telling someone that the level, this they are different in levels, right? So now from my exterior part of the building, right? So now I can be having this as, let's say this is my base for the exterior part of my building. And so if I want to now go into the building, I'll have to step up to 450 millimeters, right? So I want to tell someone that okay, for construction, so now this level is higher than this other one. So now this is what I use. So now plus minus um, 0 for this particular space. I'm using plus minus 450 because now this slab we use here. Let me go out of this particular space and I'll show us the slab. And so now this slab we use here, the thickness of this slab is 450. I've not added step yet, and I'm going to add step for this particular video. So now we'll see how to add step. Right, so now this is 450. Right, so let me add step now before I continue with this level dimensioning. Right, so you can actually understand what I'm talking about. So now, let's pick this slab so we can hold on alternative, like I said yesterday, hold on alternative and pick it, and then let's draw a step, or let's say let's take it down to 450, okay, 4050. All right, so we can make use of 300, 300, enter, click on enter, hold shift and arrow. Oh, no, let's click, hold shift arrow. So okay, we're already here, so 450, and then we join it together. Right, so I'll now do that again, Control D, and then drag a copy, drag and add it here. Right, so let's go back to our 3D to see what happens here. So now this is the our addition of this slab has been added, right? So now so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to reduce and create the step from this 3D now, right? So let's go back. I can do it on the floor plan, but I want us to see what is going on here. Right, so now I'll click on this particular step and I'll click on this black dot here, the black dots. Right, so when I click on it, it's highlighted. I can move it up and down the way I like it. Right, so let's see. Okay, sorry, let me go back again. Right, click on it, and then I can come down to this point here where you have these tools displayed. Right, I can now click on move node. No, let's use this one, stretch height. Stretch height, right? So click on it. So what happens, you can actually stretch the height without moving the entire blocks. Right, so what we want to do now is to reduce it down to 300. So now we are doing 150 risers, right? 150 for the risers. Now we are removing 450, which is our normal slab, minus 1.